My first job as a writer was on the staff of the Golden Girls. And, when they were on that show, B. Arthur and Betty White and Estelle Getty were all around 70. Rue McClanahan was a youthful 59.
They sent me scripts, and to my absolute shock and dismay, they were some of the crappiest, embarrassing, insulting scripts I have ever read, and they were that most likely because it was about older women.
50% of the population are 50 and older.
50%? Wow.
And 70% of disposable income is controlled by this group. So in the next 20 years, the group who stands to inherit $50 trillion is women, because the men go first. So in terms of advertisers, this is a significant statistic.
I can't resist telling you all that I just finished the pilot. called
that was the next question.
Called Guess Who Died? And it's about a retirement village. Everybody in the show is over 60, most in their 70s, 80s, and so forth.
Even though age is a time of nuance and complication, the roles become simpler. They become more red, yellow, and blue, and there's alternately the old people behaving hilariously and, stealing pies and bouncing around, their balls bouncing into each other. And then there's sort of like the sadness of age.
We have a history.
It's like they're the anomaly or something.
Look what we can bring. We have such an astonishing history, and nobody seems to consider that.
Right.
I mean, look where I've been. Look what I've done.
As women, we live more than half our lives in menopause. So I don't know if everyone was aware of that as a woman, that you are now, with our increased life expectancy, going to live the latter half of your life in menopause, but we're not equipped, to even talk about it, much less, deal with it. We want to be seeing women, on the screen. We want to be hearing those stories, but imagine how hard it must be actually to tell those stories if you're not admitting them to yourself. It's a wonderful time, right? But we're not necessarily
best time of my life. I swear, the best time of my life.
And I'm living in a moment. It took me 95 years, a number of months, weeks, days, and something, just to be waving my hand and talking to you. Every split second of my life. How could I not love this moment?
Exactly. I wake up humming, goddammit.
So the idea that sort of 60 is the new 40 is patently ridiculous. 60 can be the new 60, but why should 60 be the new 40? People are living much longer now and have much more ability than they maybe had a generation ago. That should be celebrated and not converted into sort of 60 is the new 40.
We are in a time of change. We're in a time of accountability. And this last year has opened up a whole new world of thinking, and people can't get by doing what they did before. And that goes for diversity and gender and sexuality. And, people are looking real carefully at what's the makeup of that writer's room. And it's not just, tokenism anymore.
You know what I'd love to see? I'd love to see someone my age playing just a person, not a grandmother. I would so love not to see it always, you almost see the titles. Grandmother, role of grandmother. What about the head of a studio? What about an attorney? What about blah, blah? You know what I'm saying.
How about President of the United States?
Oh, how about that?
I like to think if it's funny, it's everybody's demographic.